Welcome to the Volunteer Appreciation presentation for 2025, where we at SHTA want to say thank you very much. My name is Barbara Budd, and I'm the Volunteer and Education Manager for the Superior Hiking Trail Association. Each fall, we host volunteer appreciation parties where we gather, share stories, and eat great food. And during the party, we take a short time to share what you accomplished during the year. When we started collecting user counts a couple of years ago, we discovered that we have 400,000 individual uses each summer. And that means, of course, not necessarily 400,000 people, but maybe a dog walker that's out there every day, or a trail runner that's out there a couple of times a week, or a thru hiker that's out there once during the summer. All of those together are 400,000 uses. And as you, as volunteers, maintain the trail, you make each one of those visits safer and more fun for all of those folks. You take care of 300 miles of trail and 94 campsites. Whether you're digging in the dirt, running a chainsaw, building a structure, or cooking for those who do, or if you're out there helping educate users about Leave No Trace, you make a huge difference to the SHT. Now, all year long, we knew you were out there taking care of the trail, but when we added up the numbers, we were astounded. You set another record. 600 volunteers contributed 10,753 and a half hours to the Superior Hiking Trail in fiscal year 2025. We thank you very much for your dedication and hard work. Adopters have been taking care of the SHT for as long as we've had a trail. You cut back brush, clean fire rings, send in reports and photos, and take on special tasks when something comes up. Your consistent and reliable impact helps keep the SHT a world-class trail. So we're grateful for the more than 1,000 hours that are given by campsite and section adopters and our trail stewardship teams every year. Thank you. And if you didn't know, after your first year adopting a section or a campsite, you have earned a personalized lopper or camp shovel. If you've earned that award and you don't have it yet, please let me know. Trail clearing weekends continue to be some of the most popular volunteer events. While it's hard work, the results are right there in front of you. And for many folks, it's the first camping trip of the season, with plenty of time to sit around the fire and get to know other volunteers. In May, volunteers cleared 88 miles of trail in 3 weekends. Individual sawyers and swampers cleared another 100 plus miles. Great job, everybody. The much-loved, rugged, and remote Cascade Loop saw another year of improvements. 2 5-day projects, as well as a backpack and a contractor project that we'll talk about a bit later. Work done on the 2 5-day projects focused on the east side of the river, just outside the state park. We installed a combination of timber steps and stone steps down a steep and narrow finger of trail, and we completed a 200-foot reroute in some steep and challenging terrain, and we renewed another 150 feet of tread immediately after the reroute. The first project of the summer was a long puncheon and boardwalk combo just off the Lax Lake Road trailhead in Beaver Bay. We replaced an old, slippery, sunken, nail-infested puncheon with a splendid, approximately 450 feet structure, which was 350 feet of puncheon with about 100 feet of boardwalk right in the middle. One continuous structure, all decked in native tamarack. Later in the summer at this same location, we hosted a volunteer training on puncheon and boardwalk design and installation, led by instructor and professional trail builder Willie Bittner. A crew of volunteers from the SHT, the Kekakabik Trail, and the Border Route Trail, along with some DNR staff, took part in this training and installed about 65 feet of puncheon. The Bean and Bear Loop was a hotbed of activity this summer. At one point, there were 2 volunteer projects and a contractor project all happening at the same time on different parts of the loop. We hosted a Conservation Corps of Minnesota and Iowa crew, otherwise known as CCMI, for 2 weekends, which is the first time in a while that SHTA has directly hired and managed a CCMI crew. Projects completed by the contractors, which will come again later, included a new 3/4 mile reroute and a redesigned and improved campsite at Bear Lake. This year, SHTA hosted 2 backpack projects that were led by volunteer crew leaders. The work at Cascade focused on completing the brand new Boreal campsite, installing a fire ring and benches, 3 new tent pads in addition to the 2 that were there, and some new signage. They also did some routine maintenance on the trail and closed down the old campsite, so we can say goodbye to Big White Pine campsite now. The crew at Cross River worked on installing natural at-grade crossings on 2 small drainages near the Cross River that lost bridges during the spring flood of 22. They performed some necessary tread maintenance and also installed some stone steps leading up to a wooden staircase. The bottom step of that staircase was 3 or 4 feet off the ground, so this is perhaps our first staircase leading to a staircase. Our trail ambassadors went above and beyond this year. They staffed tables at trailheads on 28 days this summer, which is twice the number of days they were out in 2024. They contacted over 1,500 people. Just think of the impact of introducing that many people to good Leave No Trace ways to take care of the SHT. So thanks to our ambassadors. Larry and many volunteers, new and old, accomplished a significant amount of high priority work in Duluth this year. One area that received a lot of attention was the Mission Creek area, where Larry attempted to fulfill his goal of tearing out and replacing all the old rebar steps, along with almost 1,000 feet of reroutes, new puncheon, and a lot of brushing. Other places that saw improvements were Spirit Mountain, Haynes Road, and Kingsbury Creek. Larry and volunteers also completed SHTA's long-awaited and most complex project ever, the Bagley Reroute. It was a reroute of less than 100 feet of new trail, but it took almost 5 years to get final approval. So on top of that, tons of brushing, general trail maintenance, and structure maintenance were also accomplished. Volunteer crew leaders Joe Baker and Alex Corbell led a new program of first and third Saturday work parties. They completed 800 feet of tread and drainage maintenance near the Waseca Street trailhead. For the second year in a row, weed whipping on the southern sections of the SHT was led and completed by a stellar group of Duluth VCLs, Josh Stengel, Shelley Thompson, Elle Byrne, and Denny Knaff. Now, Larry Sampson has been serving the trail for 20 years. He's threatened to retire before, but this time we think it's for real. But don't worry, Larry has promised that while he won't be leading crews, he will be out to volunteer with all of you. Larry, we are incredibly grateful for all you have done for the trail over the last 20 years. Thank you. And now we have some special thank yous. Most of what we've talked about so far involves picking up tools, but you do so much more. From our tireless board of directors, and we have a couple who have attended all of our volunteer appreciation parties, we say thank you for helping, not just doing what you do for the board, but helping appreciate our volunteers as well. And then we have individuals who go out blazing and installing signs. From front-facing folks who help us sell swag at events like Fisherman's Picnic, to behind-the-scenes folks helping us with tech, we thank you all. Each year, we award 3 people with North Country Trail Honor Awards. These are our Volunteers of the Year. This year, as we nominated folks, we found a theme coming up: community building. Each of our honorees this year demonstrate amazing community building skills and help build the SHTA community by sharing their enthusiasm for working on the trail. These awards are usually shipped to us in January, so we didn't have them to give out at the time, but we will get them to those folks as they come out. So here are those 3 folks. Joe Baker started by coming out to projects, but quickly started adopting a section. From the very first time Joe volunteered, his enthusiasm and enjoyment around trail work has been obvious. In taking on the role of volunteer crew leader and also as a certified sawyer, he's made sure to share that enthusiasm with others. His excellent leadership and teaching empowers other volunteers to enjoy their time on the trail and to keep coming back. And he does this not just for the volunteers who sign up for his work parties or are on his saw teams, but he brings his friends along too to help with things. When Joe helps us recruit new volunteers at tabling events, the enjoyment he finds on trail helps get other folks enthused too. Joe helps build the SHT volunteer community at every event he's a part of. Beth Kaczynski adopts a section of trail with her husband George, and she is always game for everything, whether it's helping haul gear to an event or hauling trash out from the trail. But what she does for the trail goes far beyond the work she does. Beth always has a smile for everyone, and her frequent laughter is infectious, helping all of us have a great time together. No matter what project she works on, she makes every effort to welcome people and create community. She engages new volunteers to help them enjoy the work, take pride in what they do, and feel a part of our community. I know that any volunteer that goes out on the trail with Beth will be coming back for more. Monica Schoberg reached out to SHTA in 2022 to see if her guiding business, Unruly Women, could work together with SHTA to host some all-femme work parties on the trail. And the idea took off. We started out with one weekend, and 3 years later, we've almost tripled the offerings. And there's always a wait list. Monica not only comes along on those weekends to join in the work, she makes sure that everyone is welcome and feels empowered by the project. She helps recruit for those events and coordinate them, and even brings some swag to share with the group. And beyond that, she adopts a campsite as well. So thank you, Monica, for bringing Unruly Women into partnership with the SHTA, and in doing so, helping to build up our community. As an affiliate of the North Country Trail, Superior Hiking Trail volunteers are eligible to earn awards from the NCTA as well. This year we had 6 award winners. The Duluth Parks and Rec, George Madhatdam, John Galletley, Al Byrne, Larry Scanlon, and John Storkamp. And if you are interested in their nomination and stories, please go check out our blog where we have all of those posted. And they also, I believe, came out in the recent Ridgeline newsletter. So, you know those record number of hours you reported this year? SHTA uses those hours to match grants that allow us to hire contractors to do even more work on the trail. It's like giving twice, once with your work and once with the money those hours bring to the association. So some of that work were these. The east side of the loop was mostly completed in 2024, but the contractor had to finish decking much of the puncheon, which was completed this spring. They moved on to the west side after that, and all the tread work and stonework was completed by September of 2025. The remaining structure work on the west side, which includes puncheon, boardwalk, and some steps, will be completed early next summer. The contractor installed several hundred feet of puncheon at Cascade River Loop, nearly 400 timber steps, close to 900 feet of reroute, and hundreds of feet of tread maintenance and derouting within the first 1.25 miles of the east side of the river, from the trailhead to Pike Lake Road. Final work will be completed early in the summer of 2026. Now, all the work on the main trail at Bean and Bear was completed in 2024. At this point, the contractor completed a 3/4 mile long reroute and of the spur trail, or the part of the loop, during the summer of 25. Trail renewal work at Bean and Bear is finally complete after several years of working on this. In addition, the contractor built a massive staircase down a steep slope and rerouted the access away from the lake through some very rocky terrain. The campsite was also redesigned to space the new tent pads out along the new access trail, and the common area was improved as well. In all, the campsite now has 4 to 6 tent pads instead of 2, and with a more comfortable and less flooded common area. The DNR also closed down the rogue site that was at the top of the hill, but that closure was not tied to this project. We had a contractor that replaced worn-out puncheon in 6 locations east of the Lake Walk in Hovland for a total of over 600 feet of structure. And Full Sun Services is our northern maintenance contractor, and they completed about 100 miles of grueling trail clearing. It was truly a really bad year for tree clearing. And about 200 miles of weed whipping, and they dug 25 latrines. So thanks for all that hard work, Full Sun. Now, SHTA loves to find ways to say thank you to all of you. And one of those ways is a personalized hard hat. After 40 hours of volunteering, you'll never have to wear a hard hat that's been on somebody else's sweaty head again. So don't worry, we do clean them in between people using them. If your name is on this list, please pick up your hard hat from the office at some point if you haven't gotten it yet. Just send me a quick email and say, hey, I'm due my hard hat and I'm coming through Two Harbors. At 75 hours, we have a t-shirt for you that you can wear on our projects. And again, if you're on this list, stop by or send me an email and we'll get you your t-shirt. And we have 3 more groups. People who have contributed 150 hours earn a buff. And with, it says SHTA volunteer in it. Those with 300 hours get a waxed canvas lunch bag. And at 600 hours, volunteers earn a zip hoodie. And over the next couple of years, we'll have some folks who will actually reach the next level, which will be a waxed canvas tote. Now, because the SHT is an affiliate of the North Country Trail, volunteers are also eligible for awards from the National Park Service for hours of service on the SHT. In order to receive these awards, you need to become a VIP or a volunteer in parks, which many of you already are. We will report all of your hours annually to the North Country Trail, so please report your hours to SHTA, not NCTA, or there'll be duplication and complications. But and you can find out how to become a VIP on our volunteer page of our website, which is superiorhiking.org/volunteer. But the real reason we want you to become a VIP is for your protection. If you're on the SHT main trail performing your volunteer duties as described, you are covered by the equivalent of workers' compensation by the National Park Service. So I would highly recommend that everyone become part of the VIP program to protect yourself. Again, go to superiorhiking.org/volunteer and scroll down until you find the link to become a VIP. So now we have a quick sneak peek for next year. Of course, trail clearing weekends are coming back. Everyone loves them and we need them, and we are looking forward to having you back out. We'll be repairing some trailheads. We will be working on some bridges. And so that's really exciting. Everybody loves to have their fingers on a bridge. So look forward to that. There will be things happening in Duluth, even without Larry. We will be building some puncheon. We're starting a new program called Local Response Teams. Now, these are groups of people who live or have a cabin or something near a particular area, so that when we have either some follow-up to a project that we couldn't finish, like happened this year at Bean and Bear, we couldn't quite finish the reroute, so we called on a bunch of people from the local area in Silver Bay to come out and join us and help finish building that reroute. Or if there's an urgent last minute sort of situation, a rapid response that is needed, we will contact folks. That could be something like going out to assess the trail after a wind event or a flood event, some sort of storm damage, or we hear about something that's happened that really needs a quick response. We would contact people who live in the immediate area. Well, if you sign up for that, you're not required to be there. It's just saying, hey, I could possibly help. So again, if you want to sign up for a local response team, do look on our next Boots on the Ground newsletter, and we will have that on there. Training opportunities coming up this year. We're going to have another ambassador training for Leave No Trace. We will have more SAW certification classes, more first aid and CPR. For the first time this year, SHTA will also be offering a wilderness first aid class. Now, this class will be offered first to our volunteer crew leaders, then to some other critical volunteers, and then any spots that are still open will be opened to the general public, to other volunteers, and then the general public. So we don't know how many spots we're going to have open this year. But keep your eyes on boots on the ground, and you will find out about any open spots. Then we're also having trail skills training in September of 2026. This will be a 3-day weekend where we will welcome hopefully up to 100 volunteers to take a whole bunch of classes on leadership, on rock work, on building structures, on how to, all the way down to brand new volunteer skills like brushing the trail well. So we hope you'll join us for, some folks will join us for that. So again, look for that in Boots on the Ground. Now, we couldn't do this work without some truly excellent partners. Thank you to our many partners. And thank you also to businesses that provided spaces for our parties and trainings, and for those who donated coffee and drinks and prizes. And next year, if you want some of the cool prizes that we have, join us at one of our live volunteer appreciation parties. And finally, thank you to those who make the volunteer program possible: the Lloyd K. Johnson Foundation, the Environment and Natural Resources Trust Fund, Minnesota Power, and SHTA members, donors, and volunteers like you. As you can see, what you accomplished is truly amazing. So thank you very much, volunteers, for all that you do for the SHT. And we look forward to seeing you again next year.